In 2004, a powerful undersea earthquake struck off the coast of Sumatra Island, Indonesia, and set off the tsunami now known as the Boxing Day tsunami. The magnitude 9.1 quake didn't just leave a wake of devastation, it impacted people from around the world for years. Carried Away on the Crest of a Wave is a play about the tsunami and its impacts, and the University of Waterloo Theatre and Performance program is presenting scenes from Carried Away on the Crest of a Wave. And joining us now is actor Leela Stone and head of wardrobe and also an actor, Susu, are joining us and in studio tell us more about the play. So we're going to start with you, Leela. Give us a more in-depth look at what the play is about and what you guys are doing.
We try to do plays which are relevant to the time and the life of the students. And given that we're currently experiencing a pandemic on a global scale, we thought it would be nice to do a play which touches on the motif of coming together and in the times of disaster, that is. And therefore, the play Carried Away on the Crest of a Wave is somewhat like the name suggests. It's stories, kind of like an anthology, connected via this common motif of how people in different geographies were affected by the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami and how people came together, dealt with it, and how their experiences changed because of the event and how they grew.
What role do you play as an actor in it?
Given that it's an anthology, that is a collection of stories, we have multiple people in the cast playing multiple characters, and I'm playing 3 characters. My first character is Amal, who is a priest in Chennai in India, which is one of the areas that was affected by tsunami. My second character is Sanjay, he's an Indian descent, but right now lives in Canada and works at a radio station. And the third one's Vermin. Vermin's, to me, a very special character because in some sense, Vermin has something very magical about him, that he knows things and he feels things and he sees things which a lot of us could do as well if only we paid more attention and lived our lives more consciously.
Okay, well, that's very interesting. And Susu, what role do you have and what are you responsible for?
Oh, I'm actually in the acting cast, but I'm also the head of wardrobe, which means I have multiple roles in this production. So I'm gonna start with the head of wardrobe. I'm the part of the designing for one of the scenes costume, which is a swimming child. I'm also play the role in there. I'm the runner, and there's another role called swimmer. So I'm designing my own costume for runner. Yeah. Also, we have kind of like for head of wardrobe, we have to plan all the actors' dressing room in this kind of special situation. We all want like actors to be safe and we wanted to keep that social distance stuff. Yeah, and for acting, I'm playing also 3 roles in this play. I'm playing runner and also uncle from the Orphan Boy. I'm also playing Lenore from the Millimeter Story. One of the most important role for me is Lenore. Lenore is a Chinese orphan adopted by American family, and she lost her whole family again in the tsunami. Yeah, she's a really tragedy woman, but I like that role.
Sounds a very tragic.
Yes.
Having to lose 2 sets of parents for different reasons. You kind of touched upon about, socially distancing. What was it like working on campus during the pandemic?
I have working in the wardrobe crew in the past few production. It's really different. Like in the past, we don't have to wear masks and we don't have to sanitize every stuff. We don't have to keep social distance from our crew member, but now we have to. Like in the studio, when we're making the costume, we have to wear the facial and masks and sanitize every 15 minutes and to keep everyone safe. And also for fitting, because fitting, we have to touch actors' bodies and to do measurement, whatever stuff. It's really hard because we are not allowed to have that really close touch. So we kind of like wearing the masks and sanitize everything we use, and then ask the permission, can we allow to do that? And then we do the measurement. Yeah.
So very demanding. I can imagine that would be complicated for you to deal with. And Leela, maybe we could take a step back, and I'd like to talk about the actual performance and why do you think it's important?
The play, yeah. The play, I think, is important because, in a sense, in this pandemic, we have had time to really reflect and ask ourselves questions we might not have had the opportunity to before, because we're so consumed in a routine that we barely, I mean, some of us do, but on the other hand, I don't think anyone can deny that this pandemic has offered us more time to really look after ourselves and get in touch with the people we know, even though we're socially distanced. For instance, I am Indian by descent, and therefore my family is back home in India. And I call them more than I ever did before in this pandemic, because I really don't get to meet people here as often. And just kind of weaving into what you asked, Susu, of how this production is different as well. It's like, it feels different because when you see a cast member's complete face on a video call, but in the practice you're wearing masks all the time, it just gives you a different sense of how you're being with people. And in the sense, I think this production is important because it enables us to see how we're feeling as a community and how different people in different geographies have different responses to disaster and how they're affected differently. And it is very, very nice of us to get the perspective to know how different people are dealing with the same situation we are. However, there's diversity within that, and maybe there's just something in common which brings us all together. And that's what really the play is about.
We know that this is being live streamed, but can you tell us some more dates and the ticket prices as well?
The dates are 25th, 26th, and 27th. 3 shows in March this month. The first one's a matinee. It's happening in the morning, 11:30, which is good because there's a global audience. And for people in Asia who are watching this play, they might get a night show. So in a sense, it works out for the best. The other 2 shows are in the evening, 7:30 p.m. And the ticket prices are $5 for students and seniors. We have kept it as reasonable as we could. And even for adults, it's a $10 ticket. However, people who would like to support live performances, they can make an additional bit of donation in the ticket, buying it for 15 or 20. However, the base prices that we've set for the audience is just $5 for students and seniors and $10 for the general audience.
Susu and Leela Stone, they are here to talk to us about the University of Waterloo's Theatre and Performance program and the fact that they're presenting scenes from Carried Away on the Crest of a Wave. And I thank you both for joining us. And that is our show this week. Thanks for watching. We hope you will tune in next week for In Studio, the at-home edition. I'm Nadia Matos. Please stay safe.